and I'm very much delighted in this morning time. It's the evening in the teachers' country time. So we have got today one more international teacher joining from new country in this live session to have some discussions between two international or two English teachers, how English language can be taught, what are the teaching strategies, and how language is being taught in her country. So we are going to be discussing all about teaching English and learning English. A lot of things will be coming over there related to this topic. Before that, I want you, English teacher, to introduce yourself, who you are, where are you from, what you do, how long have you been doing.
All right, so nice. Hi, teacher from India. So this is Noemi Hernandez. I'm from Guatemala, and I have been learning uh, the language, I think, for 4 years, teaching 3 years. So uh, I started since I was 19 years old, and I have never stopped teaching. I started as a formal. It was actually my second job because the first one was at a call center that I didn't like and I quit it. Then I continue as like as teaching, which I found it like funnier than working at a call center. Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so yeah, for your kind information, I'm an English teacher and then I have been teaching English language for 5 years. It's a good experience and a nice journey meeting with people from around the world, and we are getting opportunity to help them to learn international English or international language, whatever you call it. And sometime we are getting a lot of opportunity to learn from people around the world, their culture, behavior, and then what they are professional in. So this is what the life is going on. And then today I'm here with you in this live session to have discussion related to this topic. So let's get started.
All right.
Okay, so first of all, now, what are the strategies that we should follow teaching English to the beginners? For example, the people, those who want to learn English in the beginning, they are a beginner. So, what strategies should we follow for them? This is the number one thing. Second thing is that what are the areas, the people, those who are as a beginners, that they should be making sure in order to learn English language? These are two questions. What strategies should we follow for teaching English to the beginners? And second thing is that if any beginner who wants to learn language, what are the areas that he should be making aware of himself or herself?
Okay. So, strategies. I will start there. Um, at my workplace, I use a system that is called IL AI, something like that. Let me see. Interactive Active. So it is IALS, which means Interactive Active Language System. So it's for beginners, and also the company sponsors like an advertisement that's called Learn English like in 6 months. But that's a lie because it takes time. So I I will say that strategies first. I'm talking about that system because I think that it's very helpful if you don't know anything about it, because with beginners actually we use a lot of body language. That's why as teachers I move a lot, and because it's the way that I express with them, like with mimics and with a lot of body language I help them. But also, as another teacher told me, it's not like a mimic class, but it is something that you have to do in order to communicate better, because sometimes they don't know anything about. So one of the strategies, I will say, body language first. If you are with a group of beginners, so it'll be like the main thing that we will do. Um, strategies. So that system I like because we start with verbs. So imagine that we have 1 hour class. So we need to teach in that hour, we need to teach one verb with three different tenses. So first we start by acting the verb. Imagine that I'm going to teach you a verb now. So you will guess. First, I will start like this. This is like kind of a bottle of water, and I will do this, drink, and then I will tell you, drink, repeat, and you will repeat. Then I will do it again, but with a different thing. Like maybe I will have like a mug of coffee, and I will do it again, and I will say, drink, repeat, and then I will have like another thing, like with a straw, and I will again do it like with three different objects, so they will not misunderstood the idea of the verb. And I will say again, drink. So with beginners, pronunciation is the most difficult thing for them, because sometimes they have like new letters, or like uh, they try to pronounce the words as they have their own language, like as their mother tongue, and it's not like that. So strategies first, as I said, body language, then repetition a lot with beginners, and that it'll make you like to get more fluency, but because students at first when they are beginners, so they imit their teachers. If you do something, so they will try to do the same as you. So first, I will say this, like first I do, then I will say we do, and then we do. So first I give the example, then we do it together, like students and teacher, and then it's like you do because it's individually. So we have three steps: first example, then together, and then you get the independence. So yeah, that's it. What do you think in your case?
Yeah, it's okay. Actually, different country teachers will have different activities and strategies for teaching. Yeah, one of the things that I just wanted to appreciate what is that it's like you the action. First of all, you are showing them action. Maybe the people don't know English words, giving action like okay, drink. After that, anything you are drinking, so it's the imagination is going in their mind. If you say them to read this word, they may forget. By demonstrating the action and helping students to learn new English words, whenever you do like this, drink. Waste on drink, how can they make some sentences? I'm drinking coffee, I'm drinking water, I will drink after some time. It will keep on taking place in different categories, the sentences. But they got a new word that is also by showing the action. So that action will not, allow them to forget it very soon. If you read,
Mhm.
chances are you can forget. But if you show something by giving an example, you will not forget. So this is a very good thing that you are doing for the beginners. That's absolutely right. And other things you also explained, that's really very good. Now let's talk about the second thing. What are the most difficulties that people find learning English in your country or internationally. And as you already mentioned that learn English in 25 hours, learn English in 45 hours, this is fake. Actually, learning language takes some time. We cannot learn in 1 month, 2 months. Maybe if you have a very good basic knowledge, you can learn. But as a beginners, it will take time. It's not like learning 45 hours, 2 hours, maybe 1 month or 3 months, something like that. It takes some time. Now, let's talk about what are the difficulties that people find to learn English language, maybe in your country, internationally. And second thing is that what are the mistakes of teachers, those who make it more complicated for the learners.
Mm,
They have a lot of excitement in their heart to learn English language, but when they join some language classes, then they think that it's not easy for us. We should not make
okay.
that kind of
So,
complication. Yeah, please go on.
oh, okay, thank you. So I get the idea. You're asking me about the difficulties that some or students in general may have uh, through the process of learning English, and then the mistakes a teacher can make with some students. So first of all, I will mention like some difficulties here in the country, uh, in my country, which is Guatemala, that I have noticed. Um, First, I think that we have um, some limitations here in school that some people think that they are too old. They are too old to learn a new language. So if you're like a close-minded person, it would be like a little bit more difficult because first you have to unblock that part that you are blocking or that students are blocking, and also I think that it it um it can be about uh things that they couldn't achieve when they were younger. So maybe they had the opportunity in the past, but they couldn't learn it. So they are think they are like blocked sometimes. And that's about psychology that you also need to face as a teacher. You need to face that students come to class, but difficulties. Sometimes people think that it's expensive. Learning a new language is expensive, especially English. But the thing here is that depending on the way you want to depending on the way you want to start, because if we let's see, if we want to start learning at an academy, some people have expectations that it must be expensive because it's international, because they have like international teachers, something like that. But then they don't. I think that they make excuses because they don't even ask. And nowadays, with technology, we have many ways of getting into that. We have YouTube, we have podcasts, we have TikTok. That I don't know if in your country you use TikTok, but you can learn some things like in a short time. Or Duolingo, which is an app for learning, or SpeakPal, like it's an app for speaking. But I don't know if it works for everyone, but in my case, it has worked. That um, difficulties, I will say, being close-minded, because sometimes you must be open-minded in order to like to advance. In order to advance, it's necessary to be open-minded, to be talkative, connect with people. If not, you will never be out of your comfort zone. So those people that are in in a bubble, they don't go out of. It's difficult to deal with. Then other difficulties that I have seen based on what I have observed here are are that they rush themselves, like they want the things fast nowadays because we have different tools. They think, for example, if you want information, so you can look on chat gpt, like using a artificial intelligence, AI, and they think that it's like that, like looking for a question and you get the answer easily. But no, it's not like that because it requires such a lot of time. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and then uh, well, I would say that yeah, it's the thing that they rush themselves because is maybe they are being asked in their jobs to learn English. So that also causes a stress for them, and they take it seriously. Like I have to learn English, but I I don't know how to start. And then uh, they they get stuck at some part and blocked. So those are maybe the difficulties that came to my mind. And then you also asked me another one that it was connected. So could you please be kind and remind me?
Okay, and that another question was along with that, like first thing is that what are the difficulties people find to learn English language, as you have already explained. Second thing was that how some of the English teachers make English learning more complicated in order to help them to learn language, but it seems to be more difficult for some of the learners, and then finally they end up discontinuing.
Okay. So yeah, it was about mistakes teachers make. So I would say that based on my experience, the first mistake I made, it was like giving instructions with a lot of information because I was thinking that because I am fluent and because I am fluent and I have to show them that I am good at English. So I will speak fast and I will give them the instructions as the as the fluest I can, and I did that. So it was like, imagine that I am in my class and I am with beginners and I am like this. Okay, guys, so let's see. How are you? How you doing? How was your day? How was your week? And they are like, I don't know what to say because I am beginner. It's like, hi, fine, yes, and they 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 didn't know how to answer the bunch of questions I asked them at the first class, and it's not like that. So being um being direct, giving instructions as the most simple as we can, it'll help. And if not, it might hinder because we have something that it's like an acronym that it's like KISS, like KISS, and it's like keep it simple, something like that. So it's keep it simple. It's like KIS, and it I think that should work for each teacher. So the mistakes that we make is like because we show them that we know English, we speak a lot in English. And the second thing that we make as teachers is to give them the words in our native language. It's like translate because they don't think in English. And at least nowadays that I have more experience, I make them to think just in English, to have and to insert the English chip. So I like something that one of my students made like 2 weeks ago because that student also can speak or is learning French. She was in the classroom and another student, how do you say this in English? And she was like, no, right now no, because I am with my English chip. And it was like, oh, I did that. I involved that student in my class. She was just thinking English and she was not thinking like in another language. But I like that action because I observed that I was doing like good uh such a good job. Um uh Other mistakes. I think that we make lots of mistakes that students don't notice them because they are beginning on their journeys. So that's a secret, but I am spilling the beans now. They don't notice that then as we get experience, so we we realize when we also like make some deep thoughts about of about our teaching and things that may help or may be updated, something like that. Yeah. What do you think? What are the mistakes that teachers make?
Absolutely, actually, teacher, it's really nice talking and nice to hear from you. And I could learn something that what are the difficulties people find learning English language in your country. So, as you mentioned, that some people think that maybe it's very expensive. That is also one of the reasons that I never discovered till now. Today, I just came to know about it. I thought maybe the most of the time people are thinking it's difficult, my level is very low, and I can't learn. I'm not much educated. I have no confidence. But one of the reasons to be mentioned is sometime people think that learning English is very expensive, and this is also one of the difficulties for an English learner. But as you explained that you should not be thinking, these days we have a lot of options, as you mentioned about AI, broadcast, YouTube, a lot of things we keep on getting involved, and then some applications are also there to help people learn English language, and other barriers also you mentioned. And then second thing that you explained about what are the things that people make it complicated, especially the teachers. And it was like, sometime if I am, for example, I'm an English teacher, any beginners, if they are coming to me learn English language, and if I'm a new teacher, so what happens, most probably the teacher try to show off himself and herself that how fast or how fluent am I in English language. And maybe the beginners are not getting, for example, you told that you asked a bunch of questions to them, they don't know what to answer. So this is also the mistake. Making it more complicated means that actually we are there to help people to speak English. But if we, start showing off ourselves in front of beginners, that's not going to help them to learn language. It is going to become more complicated. They have a little mind, they are trying to help, they are trying to learn something, they are focusing there to learn. But if it is going beyond their understanding, so they are not going to pay more attention. One thing, and another thing you said that what are the things that is similar in your country and my country, which I don't prefer actually. An English teacher giving a lot of information in the native language. to teach English to the students. Finally, to get a small information about English language, they're explaining, maybe there is a one sentence explanation. If you are giving in your native language at least for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, that means that learner, that student, he understood that one sentence fully, perfectly in his native language, not in English. So the purpose is, how can we help people to speak English? It is not giving them lot of information in the native language. Finally, they know English in their native language. They understand English in their native language. When it comes in speaking, they have to translate from their native language to English, which is a long process. It does not help them to speak out. So the question is, how can we make people to think in English language? Any language we speak, it is because of our thinking ability, the thinking power. Thinking power will require the word power, imagination, making sentences. Any language we want to express, maybe we want to express our thoughts, emotion to someone, to whomever we might be talking to at that moment. How do we have ability to think in that particular language based on our word power? How do we arrange the words, group of words in a sentence in a right manner, in a order, so that it makes a complete sense? Then using words in sentences to express our thoughts and emotion to someone, for that, first of all, we must be making sure that we do have the thinking ability in that language, any language it may be. For example, I speak Spanish because of few lines. That means I only know that much. Even one word can make me to get stuck. I have no word power. I just know hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay, muchas gracias. That's it. So if you ask me more, I have no word power. Thinking ability is zero. I have no thinking ability in Spanish. Only five lines or five sentences I may think, because I know. So a teacher should not be making it more complicated. More complicated, complicated means giving a lot of information about English language in the native language will not help. It may help them to understand, but it's not going to help them speak out. And speaking very fast in front of the beginners in order to show up is also one of the mistakes that English teacher shouldn't be doing. And we are there to help them to speak English. Actually, what is the biggest challenge in teaching English? The biggest challenge in teaching English is, how can I make other people to speak English from their mouth fluently? It doesn't mean how fast I speak, how good I teach, how brilliant teacher am I. I can be in my eyes, in my imagination, maybe in my perspective. But if someone is joining with me, how quickly, how confidently I can make him and I can make her to speak language. Making people to speak language is one of the biggest challenge. If we are able to do it, all the things are okay. If we follow lot of strategies, lot of methods, grammar, translation, this and that, finally they are not able to speak, everything is useless. It has no use. That's why I like the way you explained drinking, action, helping them to think in English slowly, step by step, helping them to understand the word. For example, now they know anything. If you want to do in English language, we say drink. That can be coffee, that can be water, anything you take like this. Then you, what is this? This is drink. They got a new word. How? Not by reading, not by listening, just by showing the action. Through your own action, you taught them a new word, and based on that word, they started to make sentence also. Okay, what you want to add? Do you want to add something in it which I missed?
Uh, in Okay, I would like to add that something. This is about my one student I have, and it's puzzle. It's puzzling. Uh, this for me because I um I have one student who is a woman that I think that she might be 55, something like that, but she's really good at grammar. Yeah, like, and I always try to tell her that all the grammar that she has to apply it in English and in speaking. But when it comes about speaking, she gets really nervous and she cannot even express what she knows in grammar. And it's like if you give her a written exam with 50 statements, she can do it easily. But when it comes about speaking, I think that she's like closing her comfort zone and she doesn't want to release like all the all the things that she knows. And it's hard for me to take her out of her comfort zone, and I haven't done it. And this is this is like kind of puzzling for me because I want to take her out of her comfort zone. So what a piece of advice will you give me in order to like to take her comfort zone?
Yes, now this is a good question that you have asked. Okay, so if you talk about maybe giving some a piece of advice for you, so what I want to tell you that lady who is 55 years old, having very good knowledge about grammar, even she can achieve 100 out of 100 in the written exam. That's okay, no doubt. So what happens? It really shows us that having very good knowledge about grammar may not help us to speak English language, because the knowledge she has about English grammar, that is in her native language. She has not started thinking in English language. Fine. She has a very good knowledge about English grammar. That knowledge is in her native language. This is present, this is past. No, here is this is passive voice, here is article, here is preposition. Lot of knowledge. But now, when it comes in speaking out, she has not practiced a lot speaking English language, and her thinking ability is not at all in English language. She thinks, but it takes time her. But she's good in grammar, no doubt at all. Very good knowledge. So, what should you do? You should always tell her to think in English. Think in English means tell a story. Let's talk about our daily activities. Pick a topic, allow her to speak. If she is not able to speak, you give some examples to her. When you give some examples, then it will happen. So finally, what you can do, you can teach her English to English method of teaching and learning English. Stop the translation method. Say that you have very good knowledge. I'm not going to talk to you in the native language at all. And second thing is that if anything I want to explain, or anything I want to teach, I want you to understand it in English. Don't try to understand it in your own native language. As you know, for example, maybe go. What is the meaning of go? Definitely the most of the people will choose their native language. Yes, go means this, go means that. So the thinking ability is going in their native language. You are talking to me from foreign country, you are asking me go, but I'm thinking meaning in my native language. Okay, so if I keep on thinking in English, go means move from one place to another place. Go means move from one place to another place. Then some examples. Okay, where did you go? I went to market. What is the meaning of went? Went means I've been in market. Now I'm here in front of you. That's why you are asking me, where did you go? I said, I went. I went there. I came back. I'm in front of you. So, helping people to think in English and having a lot of conversation. Just most of the time, you need to allow her to speak some sentences, stories, discussions, daily activities, little, okay, let's talk about the past events. Maybe let's talk about more, what are the most difficulties, what was the most difficult time that you faced during the COVID-19, and see how is she able to make some sentences, where is she finding difficulty to speak, and why is she having difficulty to arrange some sentences and express herself in English language. And she might be having very, she might not be having confident at all, she might be very much afraid of at that moment, she might not be uncomfortable at all at that moment when she wants to talk. So the better is that making people to think in English, allowing them to speak more. That can be maybe by repeating with you. For example, you are a teacher. Okay, dear learners, I just want to tell you today the value of time, or the importance of time in our life. What is time? Why time is very important? How can we utilize time? You speak 2 minutes, 3 minutes. After that, tell them what did you speak, how can they speak. When they are speaking, at the time, you make sure how are they making sentences, word for word, pronunciation, some mistakes, and who are trying to speak better. This is all about making people to think in English, allowing them, giving them lot of time for practicing language. Practicing language is more important. I know you are fine. In order to learn English, I have to ask you 100 times, hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. The person who is sitting next to me is already fine. It doesn't mean that I'm asking his real condition. I'm trying to learn English. Hi, how are you? What you do? Where are you from? What's your job? Question answer method of learning English. Asking questions in English, answering questions in English will help you to learn English language. One of the methods to be followed, that is called question answer method of learning and teaching English. Asking a lot of questions: when, why, where, how much, how long, how far, how often, auxiliary verbs, how to arrange question words, how to arrange a question sentence in English language, what should be the answers. Sometimes speaking English doesn't mean that people don't have confidence. People have difficulty to understand the questions. If I'm asking the questions which begins from how often, they don't know that question. They know English but they could not understand. For example, okay, how often do you brush your teeth in a day? How often do you brush your teeth? How often, what is this? A simple question is, you brush your teeth how many times? This is a broken communication. Fine, if I'm arranging it in order, making it according to the grammar sense also accurate, then definitely the new learner will have difficulty. So, my suggestions for you, the lady who is 55 years old, allow her to think in English, have constantly interaction with her, allow her to speak more in your lessons. Most of the time, a teacher is speaking whole all the time in the class, and students are saying, "Yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am," will not help you to speak English at all. Giving lot of chance students to speak language. You are as a observer, trainer, mentor. If they make mistake, if they have difficulty to make a sentence, you can help them instantly, giving 5 6 examples how you supposed to be making a sentence. For example, you tell me, talk about your daily activities. I don't know, I'm getting stuck. Then you are giving me examples. You can say, first of all, I get up so and so timing, then I get ready, maybe I get fresh, I go for morning walk, I do this, helping in between, assisting me. then your assistant can help me to speak more sentences step by step.
Yeah, those examples as clues. They take it as clues. As you said, yeah, it works as examples. And yeah, thank you for that piece of advice because I think that I will apply it because sometimes I have forgotten that when it's about intermediate or advanced level, you should allow your students to speak more, not you. Maybe when they are beginners, you are the only one who speaks in front of the class a lot. But when they are at an intermediate level, so they must speak more than the teacher. And if they are advanced, so it's the class is all about it's all about theirs because they should speak more than the teacher. I think that's what I have been taught in the academy where I work because when and sometimes I have forgotten that I think but you know something that works a lot in my classes in order to speak them more, it's debates. Like sometimes we I think that I like
Advantages
one topic that
versus
we
online
discussed.
classes versus offline. We are doing it a
Yeah,
debate.
or Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. Some things like are like tiny, but
Online
they
shopping
are
versus offline,
controversial.
village life versus city
Yeah,
life.
or yeah, like shopping online,
Yeah,
shopping face to
is
face.
uniform
Those
compulsory for students in your school? Should it be banned?
or yeah, yeah. Or one topic that should students have homework or not? And some of the students said yes, other ones said no. And also there was a mom in the students that was saying I think that no, because my little children don't have time, they don't want to go out because they are full of homework. And other ones say I think that yes, in order to practice. So controversial. Or what is the most delicious fast food? Some students say McDonald's, or say I don't know, Pepper John's, Kentucky, or something like that. It's like when they have to compete, they get involved more. And here it comes the next question for you. Like what has been the hardest topic to teach in your class? Um, let's think of an intermediate level. What's been the hardest topic to teach? And then I will tell you two that for me, I have felt that it's difficult to explain and difficult to get at as a student.
Okay, so what's your question?
Like uh what's the hardest topic, or what has been the hardest topic for you to explain uh to your students? For
Okay. No,
example,
actually, for me, there is no any hardest topic to explain to my students because any topic I prepare, I can have a very good knowledge about that topic and then I can explain. The hardest thing is only that how can I avoid when people speaking English their mistakes. This is the hardest topic that I'm facing. For example, I know I have been teaching students, so many times that present indefinite tense will follow ses with the first form of verb if the subject is singular. Everybody knows it. When it comes in speaking out, so most of the time they are avoiding it. It's not becoming their habit of speaking. Like for example, he go to school, he don't know. It should be he doesn't know or he goes to school. The most common mistake students are keep on repeating present indefinite tense, always forgetting to add ses with the first form of verb if the subject is a singular. They know rule, they understand it, but when it comes in speaking habit, the practice part, the chances are that they are forgetting it. They are not able to put it into the practice part. Like yes ma'am, I have a friend, Her name is Mary. She write very good. It's supposed to be she
Mm-hmm.
writes.
Yeah.
So this is the hardest topic we are facing. The what we are facing, how can we make people accurate as well as fluent in speaking English? For explaining as a teacher from my side, I can prepare topic for based on my knowledge. Maybe after preparing the topic, I don't think that I will have difficulty to explain because of my ability. But how students are understanding, what is going to come the feedback, that is the hardest topic. And how are they going to speak language confidently, that is also the hardest topic. But for explaining, I don't
Yeah.
think, because what I think, we have a lot of information these days, we can collect from here and there, internet is there available, any topic, get a lot of
Mm,
information and study by myself, and take a lot of time. Maybe if I'm little weak, take more time, and then as a teacher, I definitely know I have that much ability to understand the topic and to study more and then to give good explanation. But my explanation, how far it's gonna work to my students, that's the challenge. And what the outcome is going to
yeah.
come, that is also the challenge. I may speak from, for example, I told you 100 time, I told my students, present indefinite tense with the first form of verb, with the first form of verb will follow ses. If the subject is a singular, he goes, it works, she helps, Neha sleeps, Mary writes. Yeah, they practice. Now we want to do the general conversation. There the mistakes are there. He don't call. So now how to
Yeah,
change
she
he don't to he doesn't, it's a very big challenge. We are fighting with our students all the time, and we don't allow. I don't want to become fluent having broken English and wrong English, or the grammar is not accurate. Sometimes accuracy also matters a lot. For example, you as a teacher speaking here, you do have fluency, good pronunciation, as well as you are accurate also. There are some things which is very important in English language: fluency, accuracy, pronunciation, word power. All those things are very important because people love to listen you more if you are fluent, if you are accurate, if you have good pronunciation, and you use the good range of vocabulary in your conversation. All those things are very important. I hear that people saying
yeah,
that,
thank you.
yeah, I hear that
Yeah,
people
thank
saying
you. You
that
do.
the grammar is not important. Yeah, grammar should not be studied for speaking English as a grammar rules, set of rules in schools and all. No, it should be practiced in such a way so that whenever we speak or whenever we talk, it becomes our habit to speak English accurately. Not wasting lot of time for learning rules. Finally, they remember the rules, not not English. They know the rules, but what is the rule of present past tense? They are good in rules, but when it comes in speaking out, they fail, or they most of the time they get failed in practicing, putting them into the practice part, which is lacking. That means, so allowing people to speak more, and then as a mentor, as a trainer, keep on finding their mistakes, finally making them habitual to speak correct English, which is the biggest challenge that we keep on walking. Having fluency with wrong English,
Yeah.
everybody can do it. Yeah, go on.
And let me add this expression because I always repeat it. And it's like if you don't use it, you lose it. So it is applied to any field of your life. Because if you don't have that repetition, you will lose it. You will lose it. If you don't practice, absolutely, there will be like something. But there is another saying that which is well learned will never be forgotten. But it's controversial because if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's then it comes another saying that fake it until you make it. Like there are many things like okay, but maybe my question was like not well made because I wanted, as you said, because I prepare my classes, because I do this and I do that. So I haven't felt any hardest topic. But maybe let me change. Let's think of an advanced level and what's been the most challenging topic to teach
Yes.
for you as a teacher.
Yeah, as yeah, advanced language. Now if you talk about still I you are saying about teaching, as I said you that for teaching preparation we have lot of information these days. If we study well, we can prepare. Only the problem is that how my teaching is going to work 100%. That is the biggest challenge we have. Maybe some topics what I'm teaching, that's not hardest, people are easily understanding. Though it is hardest also, maybe I have the way of explaining and all. But finally, making people to speak language, this is the biggest now let's talk about model verbs, advanced language, or the passive voice. Passive voice is okay. The model verbs, students are always confused. Model verbs are used for possibility, suggestions, ability, request, prohibition. Now they are confused. Can be used for permission. Can be used for ability. Can be used for suggestion. One can so model verbs sometime if they don't have, students don't have the that much understanding about the grammar, so it is making them to get confused in the beginning. For example, you can take taxi from here. This is my suggestions. Taking taxi or not taking, that's your choice. All right. He can find all the streets in London. It's talking about his ability. The person is having ability to find all the streets in London. That means he's very familiar about that city. He's living there. Okay. Now it can be suggestions. So now this topic, whatever explanation I give, putting it into the practice, sometime the students are not that much accurate. So I think I'm talking about the kids, not the adult. Adult can easily they can get it. And advanced grammar topics are sometimes difficult also. Difficult in the sense means not as the explanation, getting the 100% feedback from the students, whatever I'm teaching or explaining.
Yeah, and it's because we have grammar rules and each rule has its own exceptions. Like, uh, yeah, sometimes it's not the same for example, with countable and uncountable nouns that we have lots of exceptions. Like, when we have like, for example, a word that ends with F, then in plural we have to write it
Roof,
like with the
roofs,
V. Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't
Knife,
make sense at all.
knives,
Yeah, knives
ves. Now roof, roofs, only s, not ves.
or belief
Beliefs.
and beliefs. Yeah, it's an exception, or yeah, that are controversial. Or for example, rice, it's not countable. That beans is countable. So it's like, wow, it's like um kind of puzzling or like shocking for them. But and in my case, in based on my experience, let me tell you that the topic that I have felt the most challenging, it's being direct and indirect object.
No, no, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not that much difficult, I think so. If you think it is difficult, and I will have one day discussion with you, and it will be made very simple. What happens, it depends on the tips and the tricks these days, especially any topic. It is difficult because we have no the shortcut methods about that particular topic. Once we know some tips and tricks, it's very easy. Any advanced
No,
topic is
I
difficult
mean,
because of we are not 100% confident in the basic English. Once our base is 100% accurate, and any advanced topics, I don't think that it's going to be that much harder. Yes, it can be, as you said. Why this is difficult? Because this is fully based on the tenses and rules. If you know which tense is this, how it is going to be get converted in direct indirect speech. He said that means now the second part of this sentence is going to in the past. The first portion is already in the past. He said, he says.
oh,
Very simple.
oh, yeah, yeah. But I think that you are thinking about reporter speech. But
Reported
in the
speech.
case yeah, in my case, I'm thinking about direct and indirect object. That it's like he told me no, or I'm not gonna use reported speech verbs because say and tell are from reported speech. I will use explain and another one that is send. Okay, send can be used in direct and indirect object. Like he sent me a message, like he sent me a message, or he sent uh, a message to me. It's like the order. Or then he explains me, it's incorrect. He explains to me. So that's like a
Yeah,
challenging topic to teach them or
absolutely.
to teach students, and difficult to get. Why? Because you have to like keep in mind those verbs that can be used with indirect and direct object, or those that only can be used with do. Like, and yeah, that's like something that I don't like to teach in English. I will say that yeah, I don't know, but it's like
Sometime it will give
challenging
you
for
lot
me.
of stress in your mind also. How can you make them to understand?
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, you do have good knowledge about grammar. I do appreciate you for it because teaching advanced topics are also very important, step by step, based on the level of an English learner. If they are in the advanced level, how can we help them to learn some advanced topics? Now, what do you want to say to our viewers, our subscribers, our friends, our students? What's your message or what's your suggestions? Maybe the piece of advice, whatever you call it, those who are learning English language. And because this is the live session, I want you to give some advice to all our subscribers, friends, students, parents, followers, whatever you call it.
Yeah. Okay. So for the people who will watch this, I will tell them like the first thing that is difficult to get it's confidence. At first, if you are not confident enough, so you will be always ashamed to speak, and it's even difficult to speak in your native language. It'll be and it'll take more effort to speak in another language. You have to keep it in mind. But if you don't get confidence, which is the most important thing that helped for me to express myself in English, I think that it'll be more difficult to this language. So first, I will tell you, and maybe this will sound like a cliche or something like that for you, but don't be afraid of making mistakes. If you think that you are mistaken, you are not doing something right as the way it is. So fake it, like make as many mistakes as you can, because that's the way we learn. So to be successful at a point of life, we need to fail. Like, uh, I'm teaching like something that it's called. I'm teaching something that is in a phase that is failure and success. So failure and success are both together, and sometimes we need to fail in order uh, to get success or to be succeeded at something. Um,
There is a statement
I will,
for it.
yeah,
There is a statement for
yeah.
it.
Could you please remind me that?
The statement is failures are the successor of pillars.
Ah, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I will tell you that make as many mistakes as you can, fail and fail. Failure is something that will help you a lot. And also, there was a man that I remember from my reading that tried to like climb Mount Everest, and that person failed like three times or four. No, I think that three times, and then the fourth time, that person was um, succeeding, in climbing Mount Everest. That person also said that I I wouldn't or yeah, I wouldn't have known how to climb Mount Everest or how to be succeeded if I couldn't climb the or if I couldn't fail the three times before, because with the three times before I learned how to do it the fourth time and how to be successful at by the end. So, with the mistakes that you are making now, maybe when you're speaking, you will be able then to correct. Or the thing that also really helps, it's like to record yourself. I think that nowadays many people have cell phones. So cell phones are by us. So just take your cell phone, put it in front of you, and record yourself. Like try to invent a story to make up. Try to make up a story and try to bring up all the words to to the video. Record yourself and then check it. Like maybe you record 3 minutes to 4 minutes, but just in English. You're cheap in English, and record it, and then you watch your own video. You watch yourself, and you also get some feedback from it. Like what are things that I can say like that, or things that can sound better like that. And my advice for you, like if you want to learn a little bit fast and to have more fluency, so for sure record yourself, or also shadowing. Shadowing is a technique that helps a lot. Like maybe you watch a video or a short video or from an exam from a movie, and then you try to repeat the same, that trying to imitate that native speakers, or it doesn't matter if it is not native. Also, it's only if the person speaks English, so can help you. uh, but also this is important to know and to keep in mind, that not only because a person speaks English can help you with your English. So be careful with that. And I think that uh, I have given today or my deepest thoughts because I had never like expressed too much because in front of a camera, because I have always done it like in my face-to-face classes, but this is the first time because I really hate like virtuality, and because it's like it gives me flashbacks from the pandemic or something like that. Because I graduated from high school when the pandemic was in my country, so maybe that's why. But I hope you have learned something from me today. And um, that's it. I don't know uh, what else to say, but I think that I have already expressed